Summer rain is passing over, and it feels like a dream. I could run and look for shelter, but you hold on to me. I'm under your skies. I'm caught in your eyes. Don't you know you stopped the room? And all that I can see is you. I'm standing where the lightning strikes. I know this doesn't happen twice. You must be my once in a lifetime, in a lifetime. You must be my once in a lifetime. There's so much that I have told you, but it's all in my head. Ask me anything you want to, 'cause the answer is yes. I'll spend my whole life just being caught.
I just want to thank my aunt for all the many years of the family values that she has taught me and my brother and my children.
It's not every day that we see the big 9-0. Boy, that's a blessing within itself, and you still have your right conception of your mind. But I just want to say happy birthday, and may God continue to bless you with many more.
You are 90 years old. That's a blessing in itself. I pray that all of us, especially our younger ones, reach that tenure. So enjoy your day, and just know that God is still there on the throne, still giving you the strength to just, you walked in by yourself.
Amen.
That's a blessing, and I pray that when I reach that age, if the Lord leads me around here, that I'm able to demonstrate the strength that you have now. So God bless you with many more years, and we love you. And can I ask for one thing? Some tea cakes.
Happy birthday. I'm just so happy to be a part of this day, and so thankful that God has blessed you to reach this day. And I just want to say you're just one of the sweetest people I've ever known in my life.
We get on the phone, and you can never be in a hurry. You got to have some time to talk, because I don't care what you call for, what you start out talking about. We're going to discuss that Bible, and we're going to talk verse, chapter. We're going to get it all, and then she takes you all to California. And then she tells me how well they are doing in the church. But she's just a jewel. She's the same now, and she's always been. She's a good person, and I just love her.
Amen.
I want to thank you for taking care of us. I remember when we were young, coming over to the house. You give us the spread on Sundays and Saturdays, and we had a really good time.
I'd like to talk a little bit about my mother. Some things you all, I'm sure you know, and some things you don't, and I wanted it to be known since she's 90 years old while she's still with us. My mother is a daughter, I think, of 13 children, and she's the youngest girl. My mother is the kind of person that would send kids all the way from Illinois to come here to get their shots for school. My mother's the kind of mother that when my brother called her and said, "Oh, Texas OU is playing next week, we'd like to bring the football team, the cheerleaders, and the cheerleaders to the house for dinner." My mother gathered the neighbors together, cooked dinner for the football team, the cheerleaders, and the cheerleaders, and all the way up and down Humbert and back on each side, people were eating in the house, living room, dining room, probably bathroom, the yard, and the street, on top of the cars, in the cars. That's the kind of mother that she is. My mother's the kind of mother that made me queen of Como School 2 years in a row, raising money to help the school. She's the kind of mother that when I was in school, Weldon Meeks and Cheryl Anderson were the first 2 children before integration that went to summer school for gifted students. My mother's the kind of mother that when there was a PTA meeting, she was the first one there. She fixed hot dogs we had a football game. She fixed hot dogs, chili dogs, hamburgers. And one time, I had a birthday party. It was over 100 people there. And how I know? Because the neighbors helped her cook when they counted each burger, and our whole house was filled with students. She's the woman that cooked for Southwestern Christian College for many years, sent food down, raised money for Southwestern years and years. She's the kind of woman that for the Crusade for Christ we're getting ready to have, year after year after year, she raised funds to help support the crusade. She's the kind of person that whatever's going on, to help with the children, whatever, she was. In fact, she was our youth counselor for years and years before I was even old enough to think about the National Youth Conference. She was there helping. She was out there washing cars with them. She gathered them together. We had plays, all kinds of things going on. And when my turn came, she was there for us too. And my kind of mother is the mother who took people in our home. You know, I want the world to know this. Out of all the things that we were able to do that our parents afforded us, it's 2 things that really touched me. And one was my father would always allow my mother to take care of people in our home. People died in our home. People were going home from the house to the hospital and passed away from our home. Her nieces and nephews would come there. She helped raise so many of them. So many of them lived in our house. She helped send them to school. She helped kids all kinds of ways. A lot of people don't know that. But today I want the world to know my mom is some kind of woman. Just want to say thank you, Mother, for all that you've done, all that you will do. She had a phone call the other day. She had 2 nephews called. One used to live with her as a little boy. She hadn't heard from them in like 35 years. And they both called her back to back the other day just to say happy birthday. Thank you.
And one of my favorite poets is Langston Hughes. And he has a poem entitled Mother to Son. But I'm going to put a little twist on this. The ladies, I know this is Aunt Catherine's big day, but all of these ladies are phenomenal Christian women. Amen. And they have played a part in many of our lives. I know when I see them, I see my mother and the values that she instilled in us. So I'm gonna put a twist on this. Aunt Catherine to her children. Well, children, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, eyes have been a-climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark, where there ain't been no light. So children, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you finds it kinda hard. Don't you fall now, for I still going, children. I still a-climbing, and life for me ain't been no crystal stair. But I know her foundation. She's a Willis, she's an Anderson, and she's a child of God. And all of these women have set the pattern for her children, women and men, to follow. Happy birthday, you are loved.
She welcomed me and my wife and family into her home and taught us many different things, but one thing I learned is that she loved to garden. She loved gardening, and one day I left church and she said, I want to plant my garden, but I can't. I can't plant my garden because won't nobody till it. I'm like, if you got a tiller, I'll till it. So I changed my shoes, had on slacks and shirts, and tilled up this whole backyard. And she was so thankful, and I'm like, she began to cook things she would plant in this garden and say, this is what you did. But I knew I'd done a good thing, and I'm glad I did it, because that man still remains jealous because I tilled up that backyard. He said, you tell my mama your age, she won't quit talking about it.
You taught me that it was okay for me to be me. You taught me that it was okay for the women in my family, for myself, for Carol, for Dietrich, for my daughter Bianca, for Camille, for all of us to be strong black women.
My God.
You taught us that it was okay for us to square our shoulders back and hold our head up high. And you taught me that. You taught me that. You taught me to be okay in my own skin.
And Catherine was always a very strong woman. She's the woman, she's made me the woman that I am today, taking care of my kids, down to my kids, taking care of other kids that are always around me.
So when I take a lot of pictures, a lot of times, you know, it don't seem like much to some people right now, but y'all kids are gonna see these pictures. And, you know, it's okay to take a portrait, because, you know, and I say, we know what you look like, but I wanna take pictures so we can see who you are. So when I take these pictures, you know, and I'm looking at a photograph right here, y'all. This is a heck of a photograph. You know, that gray hair ain't always been great. You know, and they had a lot of children, so they were looking good to somebody. You know, and, you know, they had, but even as good as they looked back in the day and all that stuff, they were so strong in the Lord that they produced children that followed along in the footsteps.
She was very encouraging. She's always been, especially when it comes to the singing group. She's always supported us, made tea cakes for us and stuff. So I'm like Brother Watley, you're on the line again. You got to make one more batch. One more batch.
Amen.
She had a house full of children. Like Greg said, they were there. Anna Pearl's children were there. The neighborhood children were there. And we just want to thank Catherine for the legacy that she has given for taking care of so many children. And Catherine, you will always be remembered. You may not hear the words, but they're echoed throughout Fort Worth.
Thank you so much for being such a mentor to my boys. They just love you, and they always talk about you and think of you. And you know, they were always with Lichelle and had a really wonderful time during the time that they were together.
On Sundays, when we would go to church, they would all say, we're going up to Aunt Catherine's. And so we know that you had them, you fed them, and we appreciate all the things that you did for our children every Sunday.
But Daddy and Cousin Catherine were inseparable.
Yes, Lord.
And the telephones can finally get some rest. They talked and talked and talked and talked some more. And the thing about it was, I don't think either one of them was in a hurry for the other to hang up.
But I just want to say, Granny, I love you. Came down from Houston to see you. I know I haven't seen you in a minute. But hey, December 13th, we out, girl. We out. You told me to get that education, and that's definitely what I'm doing.
Amen.
Definitely for you.
I'm Aunt Catherine's favorite niece. And I just think it's such a great honor to be able to witness someone at her age. But you've always supported us, no matter how we sound. And you always cooked for us after homecomings, and we appreciate that too.
We all love you. And whenever Cheryl and them say, let's do this for Cousin Catherine, we're gonna do that. Cousin Catherine, ever since I've met you, when I married into the family, Victor's father, we gotta go see Cousin Catherine. And then he come back with a bunch of food. And I said, who is this Cousin Catherine? I gotta see who was making all this good food.
Amen.
So I finally got to meet you, and I'm telling you, it's been a pleasure. You are an encouragement to any young person in the church, especially a young lady in the church, because you let nothing stop you. You dress to the hilt. Every time I see you, you are perfectly dressed. You are a smile on your face. Even if you don't feel good, you have a smile on your face. Like Barbara said, you've encouraged our singing group. You've fixed food for us. There's no way they say do something for Cousin Catherine, I wouldn't do it. I know that you were one of my father-in-law's favorite cousins. I know that for a fact. So I just want you to know that Richmond Avenue loves you. I love you. And God bless you for the many, many more years.
You know, it's interesting that this is the first time that I've laid eyes on you. He talks about you 84 hours a day. If I go to a tree and I pull out an orange, especially if that orange is good, I know that's a good orange tree. I know what kind of seed that it took to be able to make the seed. I've never met you before, but I have met your fruit. And your fruit is phenomenal. So I know for a fact that the seed had to be something off the chain.
But y'all know y'all ain't gonna do nothing to my mama. That she is the dearest, sweetest, most precious woman that I know. Mother, you have set the precedent for what being a woman should be. And even after the death of my dad and after the death of you still put into me what being a dad, what being a son, what being a father, what being a man should be. And I thank God for you and Daddy that y'all took the time. Y'all stayed at home and raised your kids. 90 years is a long time to gain knowledge. 90 years, and let me tell y'all something about my mama, and I'm finna go. 90 years, and my mama can still tell you what happened way back yonder.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Now, she may not can tell you what happened yesterday, but she can tell you what happened way back yonder. She can give you book, chapter, and verse. Victor said it, Lee said it, her and Johnny Norris would run y'all silly. They would get on my nerves. You know, all these grandkids in here, they may not be biological grandkids, but she done raised everybody pretty much at this table over here. Pretty much. Mother, I love you. I hope this is a representation of how everybody else feels about you. I hope I can do it again in 90 more years. I'll be on the walker. But I'm come on in here and we're gonna have 90 more years of you. Thank you for everything you've given. Thank you for everything you represent. And last thing, can't nobody wear no hat like my mama.
You have been the matriarch of this family, and we just appreciate you so very much. Lee got to talking about tea cakes, but he forgot pecan pies. So can't nobody make a pecan pie like Aunt Catherine. I know it, I know it.
I just want to thank everybody for all the things that they done for me for my birthday. It makes me want to live 90 more years because I feel like that I have taught and guided so many people to Christ.
I just wanna ask, can we make this moment last, moment last? Don't you know you stopped the room? And all that I can see is you. I'm standing where the lightning strikes. I know this doesn't happen twice. You must be